see who's ready to go. Martin. Hi,
Yep.
Martin.
Hi.
So good to see
Hi.
you. And I'm excited to meet Andrew because I have not met
Hello.
Andrew yet. Hello, Dennis. Thanks for joining us. Good to see you, Dennis.
Hello.
I know. I think I always surprise him a little when I jump on, just chatting all the way already. Second or third time, I think I've surprised him a bit. So good to see you guys. Thanks for being here with us. Are you excited?
Oh yeah. I'm
Mhm.
ready for this.
Good. You always are. You always come prepared, right? And so fantastic. So hopefully you guys had your kind of talking points that we're going to go over today. But before then, let's introduce you a little and hear about a little bit about yourself. So we'll start we'll just go in order that we came on, if that's okay with you guys. And then Harry will have you say hello to, and then if you have anything else, you can let us know. But Martin.
Yep. Hi everyone. So my name is Martin. I am a jack of all trades kind of person. I am a music producer, a business owner, book author, speaker, award-winning advocate, Special Olympics athlete, you name it.
Oh, I love that. And I'm so excited that kind of through you, I realized, hey, maybe I should find out about Special Olympics in my area. And now we have a golfer in the family, and DJ is doing amazing at the Special Olympics team here in Salt Lake. And I'm so excited, Martin, that he has a chance to be part of something. I didn't realize what we're missing.
It's really fun, and the great part about it is everybody is like rooting for each other. There's like no judgment, and everybody can have their true light shine.
It's so true. It is so true. It's a beautiful community, that's for sure. And we have wonderful people, of course, coming in in our audience. Stephanie says Martin with a little heart emoji, and Carol. Thank you so much, Carol. She's excited to be here, and we're excited to have you here as well, and to introduce Andrew. So, Andrew, thank you so much for being here, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello. Thank you for having me. So I'm 23 years old. I graduated from the University of Wisconsin-Madison in 2024. And right now I live in Washington, D.C. I am from San Diego originally. So I'm currently on the job hunt. I'm thinking about going to law school and but also exploring other areas. So I'm currently searching for jobs in the legal, government relations, policy, or business compliance, and just exploring like different opportunities, like in DC, or like, and also like expanding like into New York as well. Kind of just looking around the East Coast. So yeah, that's like kind of like what I've been doing right now. And yeah, like it's my first time speaking with this panel, but I've spoken at other panels such as the Global Neurodiversity Conference. And yeah, like thank you for having me on again. And I'm excited to speak about my experience like growing up and like how I manage myself.
Oh, we're so excited to meet you and have you here, and bringing new people together is just so much fun, and opportunities will probably come out of this. I have a feeling for you, Andrew, because I know some people who are watching are connectors of connections, so they are going to be reaching out to you and saying, what kind of job do you want? Who do you need to be connected to? Let's get you in there, and we'll help you move forward. So thanks for being here and sharing your time with us. Dennis, thank you for also coming in and sharing. Tell us a little bit about yourself and share with the audience, a little bit more about you.
Yeah, thanks for having me here. Yeah, my name is Dennis Tran. I'm based in LA. I'm go pronoun he, him. I'm late identified autistic age year, like for the past 5 years. It's been a 5 year journey. I built a multifaceted career like in media, entertainment, tech, healthcare, philanthropy. And so for the past 5 years, I kind of been in the advocacy space as a speaker, storyteller, writer, content creator. And I have spoken like many different places, like at different universities, UCSF, COA, and yeah, it's just like a variety of like working with companies as a DIA advocate, consultant, like, and just like basically like you leverage my story and its journey as a social impact storyteller and cultural consultant to kind of help like increase authentic representation in like different industries as well.
So important. Absolutely. Harry, tell us a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourself since you are also here on the panel.
I'm so excited to be co-hosting with you again. Like, I have so much fun. I tell people about your platform all the time because it's so amazing. I am Harry James O'Kelly. I am one of the creators of the O'Kelly Lab, and we started that. It's a grassroots effort with our family because we found that our kids who are twice exceptional, that's pretty much our brand, were diagnosed as autistic, but they weren't seeing any of their strengths. And so we just basically realized that we needed to do more as a family for our community and help our students and other families get out there. So we started doing all kinds of different things. We have a documentary that's streaming called O'Kelly Legends TUI Behind the Scenes that we did a few years ago. And we've, done the festival circuit, and it's gotten distribution. It's on, the internet as well as it's been on TV. So that's pretty cool. I'm primarily a filmmaker. So is my husband. Two of our kids are going into media, and one of our kids is actually going into the STEM field. So it's just been an amazing journey. And now that my kids are kind of, they're advocates, they're all advocates also. And we're constantly looking for new projects. So if you have any ideas, please reach out to us. We're the O'Kelly Lab at gmail.com. And we're putting up a new website actually now that'll be up and running. Our newest project that we're working on, and I was just telling Sarah about it, is working with a chef, a vegan chef. Her name is Arnella Barbara. And I'm eating this amazing healthy food that we made. And it's just so fun to just explore kind of getting healthy as a family. And we just thought, oh my gosh, we're doing it. We're gonna put it out there. So we're working with Chef Arnella, and we're having a blast making all this really healthy stuff. And the other thing I was going to share that I just found out about was this new book that just came out. It's on a soft launch. It hasn't even officially like launched. And it's the Neurodiversity Connection. I'm sure if Victor Lamb he's the most amazing assistant. If he's out there, he can put it in the chat for you, or maybe Sarah. But it's by Joy Carol Young and Tim Hodder. And it is just amazing. And it's also something I wanted to talk to you about, Martin, because it really is great it's really helping community partners to connect with our community. And so I think this is a good one for you to read also, because you do so much amazing work with our community partners in creating autistic friendly communities and getting your work out there. So I'm so glad to be here and getting a chance to co-host with you guys. It's just so fun. Nice to meet you.
Ready? Let's jump into these topics so that we can cover everything. This is going to be so great because I'm really looking forward to learning from each of you how these ideas can help shape how we perceive and how the world perceives autistic individuals, and the amazing value that we can bring with these experiences. So with that, and I really, throughout my journey as a podcaster, had one time a woman who had come on who had lost her son. And she really said that she didn't like the term lived, and she likes the term living. If you're living and you have living experience, don't use the word lived experience, because for her, that referred to her, someone who she had lost. So I love that. So I just was going to, preface that I'm going to say that while we're moving forward. Why is your living experience essential in advocacy? Andrew, what do you think about that? Why is your living experience essential in advocacy?
So I'd say the experience that you're living is essential because I've kind of just realized the older you get, the more like you experience life, you learn a lot more about yourself and like how to manage yourself and like knowing what you need. So yeah, like once you're figure out like what exactly like you need, and then like the more you experience, the more you figure things out, you're able to like help like find ways to advocate for yourself and find the best ways to ask and make sure that you're able to know like what you need and just like ask and like and even like use it to help others as well.
Absolutely. Because it's really hard sometimes to figure out through life what is best for me. What do I need? How do I ask for it? That's the even harder part. You're so right, Andrew. And once we can kind of start building those strengths within ourselves, and really like feel empowered, that's when we like feel confident enough to ask for the supports to kind of stand up for ourselves more. And I really like that you said that. That's fantastic. Martin, what do you think about that? What is your how does your living experience help your advocacy?
It took a lot of time to know for sure, because when I was diagnosed at the age of 5, I really didn't want to accept myself as being different from others. And so there's a lot of times where I got bullied a lot, of course. I mean, nobody knew about how it's totally okay for us to not have eye contact. I mean, I was sent to detention multiple times by teachers because they didn't understand that lack of eye contact doesn't mean that I'm listening. It's I'm able to learn the material better. But fast forward to when I released my book, I was able to understand, like, you know what? I am meant to be an advocate for my people, At first I thought it was going to be negative, like negativity, but parents started reaching out like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. And now fast forward to today, it's like, I am so glad I fought through all the negativity when I was younger, and now I'm able to help others share their stories because they deserve to have their voices heard as well.
That's beautiful, Martin. I agree with that, and I relate to a lot of that. And some people sometimes look at us just as human beings, if you want to say, and think, oh, you look a certain way. You probably didn't go through that. You probably haven't gone through anything like tough or anything, but no one can tell from the outside. Well, I mean, what you've gone through mentally. That's the truth. I mean, unless you physically show it, but
right.
Not a lot of things like that, are seen on the outside. And so our own personal overcoming challenges and things is so important when we can help a family to also resonate with that and say, it's okay. It's okay for you to just see your child for themselves, not have expectations of what you hoped or what you wished or what you thought it might look like, but who they are, like who right now in front of you, that's the person that you should be connecting with and appreciating and showing that they have value just as they are. So I
Yep.
love it. Dennis, what do you think about your living experiencing? How is that affecting your advocacy?
I think for me, it's like living experience. I kind of think about like in two parts. Like one is intersectionality, how it ties to play into like being multiply marginalized communities, such as being in a growing up in traditional Vietnamese Southeast Asian community, being the part of low income community. Also kind of being a part of like having other disability as well, in addition to my autism ADHD. And just kind of been and then also having had those like nuances becoming in the queer me as well, and just like kind of having all these identities intersect with one another is like one way I can see how like living experiences, like kind of understanding these challenges of like what it's like to live in different, like being affected by different like factors that like and systemic barrier that kind of influence like how you navigate a disability or neurodivergence. And it's one thing that for me, it's like it took me a lot longer of a cultural context to also embrace my disability. When I was diagnosed with glaucoma at 17, I didn't see anyone like myself, and it was like hard to communicate that to my peers who go to school. Where it's also like people didn't know how to respond to disability, so I kind of kept it to myself because I didn't really see anything reflected in media or anywhere in the society. And then in my own family, I kind of noticed how there's a lot of stigma and there was like a lot of shame around it, where is considered bad luck or a curse to have a disability. So kind of for me, it's like I didn't have nowhere to turn to but myself. So it kind of felt like I had to kind of navigate through the silent battle, the mental health challenges, and the various battle that I had to have. And then the other part is like sharing storytelling and just sharing my stories and live experiences to connect with other people and resonate with other people who are also sharing the same journey as well. And that's why how I kind of come across becoming an advocate through storytelling, be able to resonate with other people, do stories that they share, and do how we kind of connect with each other through our lived experiences and reality that we kind of face, and then see other people doing the same and representation as well.
I love that. And it's so important too. And I think that we're hoping that our media representation and things like that are getting better, but definitely we're going to keep these stories from real people that have these experiences just like yourselves. And just like I had said earlier, when we had the research panel, you know, there was so many things that needed to be researched when we said, well, what do we need? That I just kind of joked with them, look, I'm going to use the transcription for this. We're going to send that to the research companies, and then they're going to have this whole list of what we need. So at least we have a measured outcome of what we can get there. But yeah, I think that you guys sharing is so special and so important. What
Can I jump in? I really think this is amazing, and it says a lot about your panels, because you're always like the fact that you brought the research into this, into this summit, and you're bringing in the advocates' points of view, and storytelling is definitely. I agree with you, Dennis. We're going to be doing something with neurodivergent storytelling. I'm a big storyteller, and that's one of the things we're going to be doing. We do that with our Neurodiversity of Kindness show that we've been producing, and we're going to do more because we do think it's such an important aspect to tell our stories, have our point of view. And if you're not out there in your culture like you're doing, it's so fantastic that you're an advocate, because now there are so many different cultures that are seeing themselves and they're realizing, oh my gosh, that's me. And if we don't do platforms and panels like this where we can show people, advocates like yourself, Dennis, like Martin, who's talking about trauma. In the first panel that we had today, it was phenomenal because we talked about trauma and how more of the autistic population has trauma. And there is one of the panelists talked about the fact that was, they're more susceptible. And I know because I've read research with attachment theory and trauma. So a lot of, like you were mentioning with the eye contact, a lot of our population doesn't have that, connection early on. And that could be why we are more susceptible to trauma. I mean, as a mom hearing that, I was like, oh my gosh, like, why didn't I think about that, combination? And then to bring it into what Andrew's been saying, Andrew, you're living in the moment so much and sharing so much about your journey. That integration of being in the moment and interpreting what's happening and sharing, that being so much in the moment, I think, is what really helps with your integration of who you are and where you're going. And that is so vital and important for all of our community to be integrating as they're developing with everything in their lives. So thank you so much for sharing that. That was really great.
And I love that because that kind of leads into what we're going to talk about next, and that is the barriers that you all have faced and maybe how you have overcome some of them. So, just maybe focus on one or two things that you can think of, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, what do you think about that? Who would like to start? Martin, Andrew?
I guess I could go first.
Please, yeah.
Definitely one of the biggest barriers that I'm starting to work around is the barrier of reaching out for help when we need it the most. Because it's like most of the times, like our anxieties and stress take a toll on us, and it's like we have this barrier of reaching out because we feel like maybe nobody would care, like maybe it's all in our head. And so what I've started doing is kind of like journaling down first and reminding myself like, hey, it's totally okay to reach out for help because there are people out there that will be there for you. And like if you need to vent, I mean, like for me, if somebody needs to vent, I listen. And there needs to be more people willing to hear what we have to say so we could be the best version of ourselves.
Absolutely. That was really beautiful. And I think that, we all face challenges as humans, but we as autistics know the barriers. And for those of us that, I guess just Harry and I that have kids that see what those barriers are too. Yeah, Andrew, what do you think about that? What are some a barrier that you're facing now or have faced and have overcome?
Yeah. So one barrier that I've faced a lot, and I've been doing a good job at overcoming it, is like just confidence. Just like having confidence in yourself and like being brave and willing to like reach out to others for help, like Martin said. Because like that's huge. Like for example, like I used to like never speak about my disability publicly, and now like I'm doing these conferences. Like I've been on a podcast and even like posting on LinkedIn like about that like I have a disability, and yeah, I've also like helped reach out to like people like randomly to like help myself with my job search, and just like even like making new friends in any city is like also like taking like leaps of faith and meeting new people. Like if you like, I love like social experiences, and so yeah, like that requires confidence and figuring out like how you can like confidently express yourself and be part of a group and like make friends. And so also another barrier that I face, and sometimes like I still like hope like that I can like work hard to overcome it. It's having people listen to me, because I like to like communicate a message a lot. Like I often have things to say or about a situation, but like a lot of times just like people just don't listen. Like they like just completely ignore me or like just don't treat me as relevant, or like just like, and like they just like don't think like that I'm really worthy of like being listened to. But yeah, I think like just people like should know like that, like making sure like you ask and like communicate in the right way, like communicate to the right people, and like know like how like to express yourself, and like even like not being afraid to. And yeah, I can hopefully get people to listen instead of like yelling things into like a big void. Just like find like people who will listen to you, and like who like will have something to say like about your opinions. And I think like having like those types of people, those types of support is really helpful.
I love that. And I think that you have so much wonderful value, worth, and all of that to share. And I love that what you said. Thank you, Martin. And I don't know if you saw that when I brought it up or not, Andrew, but he said, "You're awesome, Andrew. Let no one dim your light." And, you know, it's the truth, because when we are all so much stronger when we're together. And right now we're creating a movement, energy that is going out into the community and into, you know, society, on social media, everywhere. And I'm proud of all of you. I'm so proud of you. I mean, you're here, you've shown up, you've been planning this, and, you know, you're sharing and being vulnerable about your own story. And to me, that is like the most authentic, the most courageous, like the best you can be for yourself. And if like, that is what people need to see. We are mentors for society. So don't forget that. Like, you are literally mentoring a whole community of younger people, knowing that they also have a voice and they're also worthy. So thank you so much. Yeah, I know, right? Get your Kleenex boxes.
I know. I just had my Kleenex. I was just crying. I don't know
Dennis.
if you saw me. I was, you know, as you were speaking, you were just so empowering and so vulnerable and so authentic. And that's the feeling that I had when I first heard Martin speak. I first heard him speak at the Cannes conference last year in person, and I was just like so overwhelmed with his just how genuine he was about his journey. And I think that's what's really important. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable and say what you're going through, because you're going to help so many people. And I don't know, we just did a panel and they were talking all about mentorship. So I don't know if you have a mentor, but I know a very wonderful job coach, Jacob Levy, who has clients, and I know he has someone on his roster that would be an amazing mentor for you. So besides building your community like you're building here and having more people that are just like cheering you on, you might want to reach out to Jacob Levy and connect with some of his people. He has some wonderful mentors, as well as people that he's working with, that he's coaching.
And I love this comment. And I think that this is also important for you to see, because hi, Maria. Thank you so much for being here. It's just an honor to have such a wonderful community. She says, "I'm a parent on here for the first time joining. Thank you for bringing our community together." And she's going to be able to learn so much from your experiences and what you have to say today. Dennis, are you ready to come on and share with us? We'd love to hear your kind of what you are facing as barriers and how you're kind of overcoming them right now.
I think in terms of barrier, I think I faced multiple barriers, but I kind of felt like it stemmed from being late identified or diagnosed with like autism ADHD, and didn't really, and having the years of delay and didn't really know I was struggling or anything at all, or kind of silently suffering. So it was only until the past 5 years that I kind of come to terms with my neurodivergence and kind of come to terms, have a language to actually understand what was going on. And I think for me, it's just kind of living life just one way your entire life, 20 plus year, and didn't know why you're struggling, didn't know why you're facing all these challenges with social connection, with like job opportunities, and and I just like and even access to healthcare, kind of not even to advocate for what your needs are because you didn't know or they didn't really have anything. So for me, it's like it's something I kind of like face as someone who's come from like the BIPOC community as an Asian American person. Like it's also like there's low resources, no opportunity, no nothing. There's like kind of not a lot of resource out there, or like lack of research, data, information out there for myself. So of course, it was also like I didn't really have anything to kind of rely on. So of course, so it only took me. So it was only 5 years. Like back in 2020, that was when I kind of went through my diagnosis when I was like I kind of had like someone who has kids or family with autism. That's how they can make a connection to me to kind of seek my diagnosis. But other than that, I would not know because I didn't really know from cultural context what autism was. And of course, like there was like a stats on there that Asian Americans tend to have like higher autism rate, but like because like people it's often very stigmatized and stuff like that. It's not necessarily accessible. So of course, like for the past 5 years, I kind of been able to rewire my thought process, understanding rewiring my difference is not less, but just like it's just different. It's being different is okay, and so it's like looking back, like how much I accomplished over like the course of like my 20 plus years, and now I'm in my early 30s now. It's like kind of like how much I've done in survival mode, but also like just navigating through like okay, like I have the language to advocate for myself, but also kind of understanding more of, like the systemic barriers, like access for people with disability that people face, like when asking healthcare, where they talk with doctors who don't understand them because like there's like healthcare systems that aren't trained with to serve people with disability, and especially we're in the world that isn't designed for ourselves. So of course, like access to healthcare, mental health challenge, which is something I struggled with for years, and living with CPSC, like which something that didn't come to light until like the past few years that we have more understanding of it. So those are the types of things. And then when it comes to even employment, where it's like I kind of realized that like a lot of time I get turned down for jobs because of like how I work and think work very differently. Like I accomplish a lot of things in a short amount of time, but then I don't need 5-10 years of experience to get something done. Like, and I think that's where I kind of realized my brain should work very differently, and I just have things done. But I realized how much the job always like kind of gatekeep to, oh, you need a 5-10 years experience, you need a master. But like, why need a master when I can get the job done? And I think that's always been like how my brain operate. And that's just speaking to my lived experience of what I kind of noticed in the job market, and also kind of how much like opportunities are sometimes like we think about like like it's tied to like where you go to college or not and those type of things. And I realized that like yes, I struggle in school too. Like I almost got kicked out to college because I didn't know I was autistic, and I struggled a lot with adjustment to school. And I started out college with 1.0 GPA, and managed to graduate like with 3.0 GPA and make up for lost time. But at the same time, it was like they didn't have the language for all this stuff, and for me it's like, I was able to kind of find a way to advocate for myself to kind of keep going. But at the same time, it's like in those cases, the issue, I actually understand why like many folks like who get homeschool or who don't continue with college, because because I also face all these challenges and stuff like that. So of course, like the past 5 years now has been just like rewiring it out, like kind of giving me the language to advocate for myself, put my stuff story out there, and then just be able to advocate for myself, and then having the awareness now to heal from my trauma, heal from my mental health challenges, and kind of now create a safe space for other people, but also now knowing what my needs are, and to advocate for myself in various situations, like in the healthcare situation, to even workplaces, and how to leverage my skills better, articulate my skill set where I thought I was lacking, but it was just sort of differences, and how I could show up into my relationship with my peers, my colleagues, and stuff like that, and how I articulate my needs are too, and just like, and those are various barriers I kind of like have to kind of like navigate through as an advocate now.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. And it's so important that we're here to share these things. And
I love that you said rewiring. Dennis, that was beautiful that you said rewiring, because you really have to be flexible with you're making all of these, realizations at this point in your life, and you're owning who you are. And I love that you said, I'm rewiring. You have to rewire. You have to rewire all the time as you are aware and learning of things, new things about yourself, right? So you need to reframe. You need to, create a new narrative sometimes to really, support yourself and where you're at. So I just love that. There's a Dr. Lynn Lim. I don't know if have you ever had her on your show, Dr. Lynn Lim?
I
She
thought
is,
there.
yeah, and she has a book called C is for Curiosity. And she wrote this book because there is so little out there in the Asian community. And she has a son that is autistic and also gifted. So it's in the twice exceptional kind of world. But she wrote this book and it's beautiful. It's called C is for Curiosity and it's by Dr. Lynn Lim. But, you might want to think about writing a book because this is something that we need more of. We need you to get out there and really share your story.
Absolutely. That's such a good point. And that's actually the next topic we're moving into is storytelling and how important is storytelling and being a voice for advocacy. So, Andrew, what do you think about that? How important is storytelling for you in your advocacy?
I think storytelling is extremely important because you can like tell your perspective and um, you can like tell about like the experiences that you've had, like the positive, the negative, and the ways like you figured out tough situations and how like you've lived like being like neurodiverse, like being an outsider, and yeah, like how I've been able to manage that. So yeah, like I guess like a lot of times like you like have a good memory about like things that happened like that were probably because like you had autism and like it affected you in a way differently than other people. Or like it could affect you like you more like you think about more like than other people would have, and like could have like set you back or might like have helped you develop a fear. But yeah, like just being able to like share your experience is huge, because it can like help others understand you and help you like get out like what you think and then like validate it and like people will help you and like you like you will help you and like you can like navigate from there and figure out the best way to go forward.
I love that. And that's exactly, what we're here to do. So I really appreciate that. You said that. Martin, you are already a storyteller. So let's preface that first that you've been storytelling in the literal and every sense. So how has that been in your advocacy? Talk to us about that.
Oh, it's been really great because when I started accepting myself for who I was, I started making a name for myself. I mean, to be fair, like, hopefully this makes sense. For me, it's not about the recognition, it's about helping others find themselves. And so when I talk about storytelling, that's why I step out of my comfort zone and always share my social media handles, because when you view from our side, it's like the world through our eyes that we see it, the positives, the negatives, and everything in between. And it's like, is it easy? Sometimes no, it's not, because there's days where you really don't want to share. But the beautiful thing is when you start to see and share what you have, the world starts to be more aware and beautiful just as they see us. And I urge and encourage people to share their stories because there's nothing to be afraid of. Everything is just, it's always great to hear other advocates with their stories, and That's why I always urge others to follow autistic voices on social media, because you get their true, authentic self that others probably won't get to see in person. So that's kind of like what I think of it like. I see storytelling as the world through our eyes.
Love that. Absolutely. Dennis, what are your thoughts about that?
I think in terms of storytelling, it's a way of connecting with other people through stories and through live experiences of like hearing what other people gone through. Like I think for me, it's like that's I think before I became a storyteller myself, I was also like consuming a lot of content, like watching movies, playing video games, kind of like following a narrative, like driven stories about like kind of like what characters are going through, what characters are experiencing, and just kind of having those early experiences, and then of course like watching consuming early content creation, YouTube area during the 2010 2011 area, which was peak for the Asian community as well in that space, but also like just more and more creators, content creators, like who share their story on mental health journey, who challenges, and who kind of shares their lived experiences of like what they're going through, work, having a career, and those type of things kind of helped me understand myself and what I was going through, even though I didn't have the language for all this stuff. And then for also when I kind of got the language, I kind of been able to share my story to kind of connect with other people, and that also kind of like opened doors to me connecting with other people and sharing their story. And so it's like everyone resonating with each other. So I kind of felt like it's a way for connecting with one another, but also to a way to let people know that they're not alone in this world and they're not like going through something by themselves. And I think that's a way that like help with overcoming mental health challenges and just be able to kind of help a sense of connection to other people, also kind of showcase other representation out there and other advocate for people to kind of look up to and just see that like, hey, someone could do this, then I could do this too. And so it's like it's kind of and be a empowerment source of that, and also kind of help like other people like navigate their own life and their own challenges that like they may never had, and especially people who may not have access to like a lot of resources or community or support system. So kind of it's a way for people to kind of build that along the way with stories.
That's fantastic. I totally agree with that. And just kind of an add-on, and Harry, I'm getting to you in just a second for you to share too. But go over to LinkedIn, Facebook. I think I might have done one on Instagram, but in the posts are networking posts to continue these conversations, to go share your social medias, to make sure that you're connecting with everybody, share your projects that you're working on. This is all about showcasing and highlighting my wonderful friends that I brought to my playground to play with me. So thank you so much, you guys, for being here. Harry, you are also a storyteller, and tell us why that and how you use that in your advocacy. Oh, I muted everyone for a second.
Whoop! Here I am. I'm back. Well, clearly, it's really important to have a mic if you're going to be a storyteller. I can say that. I can say that. Well, storytelling is. I'm a filmmaker, so storytelling has always been important to me. But lately, I'm really finding that I'm enjoying working with the neurodivergent population, and there's so much talent, and I just feel like they haven't been valued, and they haven't been showcased, and they haven't been highlighted, and we need to raise everybody up and show that they can be employed. And so a big part of the storytelling for me is getting the word out there about people's strengths. And when they tell their story and they talk about their strengths and what they're, good at or what they want, what their dreams are, they can, I like to see them achieve that. So that's a big thing for me. Also, I was listening to what Martin was saying, and I realized that you're part of Dr. Andrea Finnegan's research project, the autism culture. I think it's Autistic Culture 101, and that's online, and that's just such a fantastic resource because it is storytelling. She did a research project where she took advocates and regular autistic individuals and shared their points of view, their stories, their sound bites basically. But it's so valuable because it's coming from them, and you're hearing their voices, and you're not seeing who they are, which is even cooler. I love the way she did that project. But that's something that everybody should go online and look up and follow. And Martin, you're amazing in it. And Daniel, another advocate that is, Daniel Durani, who is on your show before. And my daughter is also in that, and she's going to be speaking on a panel with Martin and Daniel and Dr. Finnegan at Stanford. So there's always, oh, good. My daughter's putting that in the thanks, CO Kelly Lab. So, just another part of this is just all of us, we're in the same community, and we should be supporting all these different platforms where we are out there, sharing information and educating each other. So look for all these opportunities and keep educating yourself.
I love that. Well, I can't believe it, on our final kind of topic that we're going to discuss. And I'm really excited to hear the advice that you all have for the next generation of advocates and how they can be better empowering to themselves and use their voices. So, Dennis, let's start with you on this one. What advice do you have for the next generation of advocates?
I would say kind of be like, I kind of felt like for those who are disabled, neurodivergent, I kind of feel like it's being different. It's like, it's not a bad thing, and being disabled is not a bad word. It's like, it's part of who you are, part of your experiences. I think it's kind of, and also kind of being able to embrace what makes you, as opposed to like, there's no point of like comparing you to another person, because everyone have their own unique way of living and just being. And I think like how society always, want us to be the same, or like kind of prioritize the same. But I kind of felt like it's okay to be different. And I think that's like something that I kind of struggled with for a long time. But I struggle because I was like, oh, just because my experience is different doesn't mean that it's less than. It's still valid. I think people have experience, just be able to own their uniqueness and own their strength in their own way, wherever their interests are, wherever their passion in, and just like own that part of themselves. Because I think that's what that kind of led them to become like who they are and what they can contribute to society as well, and just be themselves.
I love that. Thank you. Andrew, what about you? What is your advice for the next generation of advocates?
Yeah, so my advice would be just be yourself, just be you. And like, just because that you might be different, like you might think different, doesn't mean that you're like, you should have that there are people like stopping you, that you have barriers, and like that you should like not settle for less, and always like aim for like what you think you deserve, and just like work hard, figure out ways to improve yourself, seek help from others, and use resources that you have available, and just like be able to share your experience as well.
That's so great. Absolutely. Martin.
Oh, this is going to be a good one.
Oh,
I know. It's only, hey, I'm just going to go like a straight up mic drop moment and just say 3 words, because I feel like people can take away from this. Your voice matters.
100%. 100%. And that's what it's all about. And this summit, the 1 in 31 connection, that's what we've done today. We were bringing 31 autistic advocates together, and we're all connecting, and all of our voices matter. And every single one of you has just like surpassed all of the expectations for just being wonderful humans. Thank you for your time and for sharing with us. It's so nice to have you all here. I'm so glad. Yeah, Martin, thank you for putting your socials over in the comments, and please feel free to do that.
May I share one final thing? It's super quick.
Minutes. Let's keep going.
All right. No, this one's good. I was trying to find it. I usually end with like quotes and stuff, but this one kind of resonated with tonight because the word understanding was brought up. So I urge you all to embrace the spirit of understanding. Let us stand together with the autistic community, not just in solidarity, but in active support. And together we can build a world where everyone, regardless of ability, can thrive.
Absolutely. Thank you so, so much, Martin.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm an advocate, but I'm, speaking from a parent's point of view, and I really make it clear that I am, talking from a parent's point of view. And I would, if I was going to say something to the future advocates that are out there, I would say create your team, create a team earlier. Don't, like, I wish I would have created more of a community and a team for my neurodivergent children earlier, because when you're taking all that on as a parent, it just drains you and destroys you. And you know what, parents, we're not going to be here forever. So we need to advocate until our children can advocate for themselves. But once they can take over that independence and that advocating for themselves and writing emails to their teachers and doing everything, and it empowers them, and it takes so much off of our shoulders as parents, because we don't feel like we have to do it all, and we don't have to do it all. We really need to be coaches and be mentors to our children so that they can then support themselves. And that's, I think, the proudest moment is, as I'm sure Martin's mom, I'm sure Andrew's mom, I'm sure Dennis, when you started to advocate for yourself, I'm sure your parents and your families were just like, oh, so proud and so relieved that you're building your independence and being able to speak for yourselves. So I think that's a really big, a big thing to look at. Create that team earlier, create that mentorship with someone that is doing what you want to do. If it's law, find a lawyer that you can work with that's a disabilities lawyer or someone that is disabled. So you see yourself and you have that person other than your family that you can, confide in or ask questions, and have that, for lifelong. And then expand your community, lifelong, expand your community so that you have tons of support. Because like you were talking about earlier, it's hard to ask for help, but a lot of times we don't even know when we need help. And we need that mirror of people that are around us, that love us, that see our strengths, to say sometimes, I'm here for you and here's how I can support you. So I just love this panel. It's been awesome. Thank you for inviting me. I'm feeling the gratitude. I can barely keep myself from crying right now. I'm having just such a wonderful time, as always, on your platform. Sarah, thank you so much for having the vision to create this and bring us all together.
It's so exciting. I just feel honored to be able to be the person to do it. And I'm really happy that you all see that I can do this and join me. So it's exciting. We get to all do this together. I wanted to put these comments off. Neuro Huntress on interest on Instagram. So go follow them. And also I wanted to give a shout out to Carol. I hope you're feeling okay today. Everybody send warm wishes, love and light to Carol. She's overcoming something and she wasn't able to make it, but I'm so honored and happy she's in the comments, and so impressed with everyone on the panel. Thank you so much. And again, Maria, thank you for sharing your experience, ideas, and support. And this is from a mom, and you guys know how important that is, that you guys are sharing these stories with someone who is looking for this exact support. Stephanie says, thank you so much. This was amazing. You're all amazing. Don't forget it. Please take those words into the rest of your day, the rest of your week, the rest of this month, the year, all the time on with you. Thank you so much, Rachel. It is. Thank you for sharing your great perspectives. Without each of your perspectives, we wouldn't have this summit. This summit is Here I go. Based on your beautiful experiences, your vulnerability, your authenticity, and your willingness to be my friend and show up. So I just honor and give grace and love to you all. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you again. You know, you're an awesome host. I'm just letting you know. You're awesome because I know I know it's like running an online conference isn't easy because of all of those issues with technology, but you persevered and now it's like, you know, you're doing really good.
Thank you, Martin. And
Yeah.
I appreciate that because you've been someone who has been with me since the beginning of them.
Yep.
And you and Michelle and probably someone I might, I'll be leaving out, Harry especially, guys have been with me for so long. And it's people like Dennis and Andrew that I want to bring along and invite new voices and see new faces and bring new people in, because we're not going to all be able to learn from one person. This takes a village. This takes a community. And we have built something so special here. So just so proud of you all. And I hope that you find really amazing connections and opportunities through this. And I want to hear about them. For sure. So thank you guys so much for being here today. This has
Have
been
a great rest of the day, everybody. Keep listening, keep learning. We have a great community thanks to Sarah. Oh, I love it.
Thank you. No, it has been just incredible. And thank you also, Harry, because throughout so many of these summits, you've reached out to advocates and have provided opportunities or helped them to see the opportunities that they could get. And what I really love about you is that you ask nothing in return. You want them to be the best version of themselves. And so I'm just like, I'm so proud of you. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I put my link in the chat. So if you have anything, and if you have like anything to offer, like in terms of jobs or just support in general, just feel free to connect with me.
I definitely want to introduce you to Jacob. I can't wait. I volunteer on a job club and I'm always looking for opportunities for everybody, but I've already got my eye on you, Andrew.
I used to be a paralegal and I'm a left of attorneys, Andrew. So we're gonna get this, definitely. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, everyone. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, our next panel is just up right around the corner. So goodbye to our wonderful advocates. It was so lovely to have you guys here. Thank you for joining me. I can't wait to stay in touch, and we'll collaborate more in the future with all of you. Bye. Wow. What an amazing, amazing panel. Oh my gosh, that always gets me, the advocate stories that just, they're so vulnerable and have so much to share, even when it comes to their challenges. And that's really something that people, especially our audience members, can learn so much from. So grateful for them.